This is OneWrestling.com, 24/7 wrestling news.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Big Ray here. Before I start my TNA Impact review and recap, I just want to let you guys know that I will be reviewing WWE 13, so look out for that at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. I'm a big fan of wrestling video games, and this is actually going to be a fantastic game, all about the Attitude Era, today's superstars, ladies and gentlemen. So look out for Big Ray's Wrestling Show's review of WWE 13 here at OneWrestling.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some TNA today. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk TNA 10/25/2012. A lot of show. Last week, we ended the show where we found everybody in the ring, aces and eights, going at it with the TNA roster. This week, we find Hulk Hogan backstage with Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy didn't have just his one belt. He actually had that gorgeous TNA championship on his shoulder also. Now, Hulk Hogan basically tells Jeff Hardy that he has to get ready, because tonight he's going to face one of four competitors, one of Hulk Hogan's choosing. Who's it going to be? Who Jeff Hardy is going to face tonight? We're going to find out later on tonight. So Jeff Hardy gets ready, and as Jeff Hardy walks out of Hulk Hogan's office, they do something a little different, TNA, and I actually thought it was kind of cool, where he's walking in slow motion, and you actually hear his thoughts, and he's saying that, you hear him saying how Bully Ray is still dangerous, and how Anderson is still an a-hole, so on and so forth, and different, and I like different. I like something new and something different. So Jeff Hardy is going to be facing one of the four competitors tonight. Who will it be, ladies and gentlemen? We move on to the actual show. And again, something different. And this show was a lot of different things. And I was actually happy to see it. Sometimes when something doesn't work too well, it's cool to try something a little different. It may not work, but it's different. And again, it's different. So we have Jeremy Borash and we have Todd Kennelly doing the first hour, and then Tenay and Taz will be doing the second hour, which was again different. And they actually start the show off with an X Division championship match between RVD and Zema Ion. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is again the way I feel about Zema Ion. I think the kid has it, man. The kid really he puts forth a great match. I think almost in the beginning, I know he botched some, and he actually hurt Jesse Sorensen, and he actually, I think, hurt someone else before that. But you live and learn. I think the kid is doing very well. He has that charisma, and for a heel, you love to hate this kid, and I think he did a great job. He had a really good. It was a shorter match, but he had a really good match, I think, against RVD. And towards the end of the match, RVD actually goes over with the 5-star frog splash. Well, after he's celebrating, he's in the back doing his RVD thing. Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan come into the ring, and Matt Morgan hits him with a kick right to the face. The carbon footprint right to the face, knocking RVD out. Joey Ryan grabbing the X Division title and dancing around the ring. And Matt Morgan basically states to Hulk Hogan that he promises that this new Matt Morgan, Hulk Hogan's not going to like it. So, now, the question is it going to be kind of like the old HBK thing and Diesel thing? Are we going to have Joey Ryan being the focus of it, or is Matt Morgan going to be like kind of the enforcer? I'd like to know what you guys think. Again, and by the way, guys, listen. If you follow me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show, it's going to be posted right up here at Big Ray's Show. I will pick one tweet every week, and I will, I'll plug your Twitter handle. I just want to hear from you guys. Twitter's a great way of letting me know what you guys think during the show. So again, subscribe to me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. You can also catch me here at OneWrestling.com and YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Anyway, we move on. Okay, so now we have Hulk Hogan backstage with all four competitors: Anderson, Bully Ray, Angle, and Cowboy James Storm, and he's trying to make his decision. Now, outside, Austin Aries is outside. And Austin Aries basically stated earlier that he would not be kissing Hulk Hogan's butt to get a title rematch. And he's going to be outside, and he's going to confront every single person who's eliminated. Well, it ended up that the first person eliminated was Mr. Anderson. Hulk Hogan said, "Brother, you don't have the same fire, dude, that the other competitors do, brother." And Mr. Anderson actually ends up outside getting eliminated and confronted by Austin Aries. And Austin Aries gets under his skin, throws a glass of water in his face, and they go at it in the back. So long story short, Austin Aries is challenged by Mr. Anderson. Who's the bigger a-hole? We'll find out later tonight. We go in the back and we find Aces and Eights sitting in the back with Devon. And Devon states that he spoke to the president himself, and the president said that no masks were to be taken off. It's their business. I wonder why they're not revealing themselves yet. I would like to know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment below or hit me on Twitter. The Aces and Eights are not allowed to take off their masks as per their president. So Devon says that, you know what, let's lighten things up. Got a couple of ladies that are going to come and entertain us. But before that, he goes to the vice president. And the vice president takes a dart. And there's not a dartboard, but there's a bulletin board with pictures of TNA stars. And he throws the dartboard. He throws the dart at the dartboard. And basically, that's how they're going to choose who they're going to attack that night. You don't see who it is. We find out later in the evening. We move on to the television championship match between Samoa Joe and Big Robbie T. Now, last week, Robbie T got choked out after trying to interfere after the match, after Samoa Joe beat him. Well, pretty much no different this week. Samoa Joe goes over Robbie T with a rear naked choke. And typical Robbie T, Samoa Joe match, if that makes any sense to you guys. We move on to a really, really good match with Austin Aries and Mr. Anderson. Really, really good match. I love this ending. This is actually one of my favorite endings of any matches I've watched this year, where basically Austin Aries goes into his tights. He pulls out some brass knuckles. Now he drops them in front of Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Anderson goes and he picks them up. And now the referee is looking at Mr. Anderson. What did you do with the brass knuckles? He takes the brass knuckles off of Mr. Anderson. Now while he's getting rid of the brass knuckles, the referee, well, of course, Austin Aries has a second set of brass knuckles, knocks Mr. Anderson out. Mr. Anderson is knocked out on his feet. Now, so that the referee wouldn't think that anything was up, he grabbed Mr. Anderson, threw him on top, kicked out. Then this is Austin Aries doing all this. Kicked out at 2. Mr. Anderson is knocked the hell out on the ground. And then finally, what I thought was hilarious, Mr. Anderson is limp as hell. He puts him in, Austin Aries ends up putting him in the last chance submission hold, and the match is over. Really, really, really funny ending of the match. Really clever. Austin Aries, again, one of the best, probably one of the best in the world. Did you hear that, CM Punk? Austin Aries, great match. Really funny ending. We move on and we see what I thought was kind of an awkward transition. We go to the desk and we see Tanae and Taz sitting there, and then we see Borash and the other gentleman. His name slips my mind, but we see him, Todd. We see them standing over them, kind of like awkwardly, and they're like, "Well, great job, guys. All right, good job. You can go now. Good job, though. Good job." And this is my opinion on how I think it was. Again, it's something different, like I stated before. I think the other guy, Kennelly, was okay. Forgive me, but a little cookie cutter. I like JB. I actually really like hearing JB. And it was good hearing two different voices the first hour. I think WWE maybe should think about doing that. I thought it was something different. I thought it was something cool. I want to see how they progress again. I can't really give a full review on what I think that announced team is going to be like in the future, because I need to see and hear from them more. I would like to maybe they can switch it up next week and maybe have Todd and JB do the main event next week, to see how they can bring the crowd in story wise. But other than that, I mean, it's a decent job. again, I'm not a professional. I would like to know what your opinion is. Anyway, we move on. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but basically, we have a rematch again with Tessmacher and Tara, and Tara with her boyfriend Jesse, Big Brother star or something like that. And I think the girls actually put a pretty decent match together. Basically, Tessmacher going into the ropes, Jesse pulls down the middle rope. Tessmacher goes flying outside the ring, gets tossed back in, gets hit. Miss Tessmacher gets hit with the widow's peak, and Tara goes over and just awkwardly and makes out with her boyfriend in the ring, which I didn't really feel like watching. But I want to move on to a more important portion of the program where we have Joseph Park. Now, Joseph Park actually last week went to Hulk Hogan, and Joseph Park basically wants a fight with Aces and Eights. Look, we're not dumb, okay? We know Joseph Park. Let's just say Abyss isn't too far behind, but Joseph Park does want a match with the Aces and Eights, and he basically presented Hulk Hogan with a document stating that TNA, Hulk Hogan, Spike TV, everybody and their grandmother are clear. If anything happens to Joseph Park, they're clear. Everybody's clear, and Joseph Park can go fight. And all, he patiently is waiting for a decision on Hulk Hogan's part. We're going to move on to one of the best promos. I would say not the best, but probably one of the best promos in wrestling this year so far. And Bully Ray comes down the ring, and he cuts a very passionate promo where he stated that he was shocked that he knows Devon so long, and he was shocked to see that Devon was a part of the Aces and Eights. And he says, look, that the excuse that was given last week was bullcrap. So he calls Devon down to the ring, and Devon comes, but he wasn't alone. He comes down with the Aces and Eights, who create a barrier in front of Devon, and between Devon and Bully. And Devon, in layman's terms, basically says that Bully Ray is nothing to him. That this whole situation has nothing to do with Bully. It has to do with Hulk Hogan. It has to do with the fact that when Devon was down and out, when Devon was looking, basically for somebody to reach out to him, he didn't even get a text message, let alone a phone call from Hulk Hogan or Dixie Carter. So he's really bitter about that. But Bully Ray, again, I want to see this guy get a title run. I mean, if you look at this, if you watch this promo, it's a perfect example of why Bully Ray can actually pull in the crowd and actually he's fantastic. Anyway, Bully Ray basically brings back when they had their match against the Motor City Machine Guns. It was supposed to be their retirement match, and they lost the match. And he states that in 15 years, he goes, in 15 years, no one's ever kicked out of the 3D. And I'm not sure if he's right. I'm pretty sure actually, but let me know, guys. Do you remember anyone kicking out of the 3D? Anyway, but long story short, they basically lose their retirement match, and they go backstage, and he says, man, he basically says, you didn't care that we lost. All you said, who cares? We're rich. Screw the fans. And Bully Ray is actually, it really hit him in the heart. He really, I guess it really affected their relationship. And then Bully Ray goes into a tirade stating that Devon Dudley has always been a coward, so on and so forth. And Devon actually says, you know what, and Bully wants to fight him right then and there, but Devon says, you know what, no, it's going to be on my time. He starts walking out of the ring, but Bully says, you know what, next week is open fight night, which is actually one of my favorite portions of the TNA programming. But open fight night is next week, and I'm challenging you, so you better get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this promo, go back. I hope you DVR'd it. See if you can find it online. I really think it was a very, very passionate, awesome promo. Really well done by Bully and Devon. We're going to move on. So now we go backstage, and we see Matt Morgan basically cutting a promo on how he's going to do what he wants when he wants. And I think it's about damn time. Matt Morgan in the ring, his in-ring talent for a big guy is really good. and I would like to hear from you if you beg to differ. His mic work isn't fantastic, but he holds a presence in the ring. And I think it's about time they start actually putting this young guy over. I mean, he's paid his dues. I want to see Matt Morgan get a title run down the line. I would like to know what you guys think. So Matt Morgan, it seems like he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in TNA. We move on and to the main event, and Hulk Hogan finally makes his choice. And that choice is the Olympic hero, our Olympic hero, Kurt Angle. He will be facing Jeff Hardy in the main event tonight. But before that, Cowboy James Storm was between him and Cowboy James Storm. And he says, I got something real big for you, brother. I would like to know, what do you think that big thing is? What's going to happen with Cowboy James Storm? Interesting. What's bigger than getting a championship match? What's bigger than getting a title shot? Interesting. We go on to the match, and I said this last week. I would watch these two guys go wrestle 12 times a week if I could. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy put on a fantastic match. Great TV match. It could have borderline pay-per-view match. Their in-ring work is fantastic. The end of the match, basically, Kurt Angle is pulling down the straps, and he actually picks up Jeff Hardy to put him in the angle slam. Jeff Hardy does a reverse sunset flip, rolls Kurt Angle up, and gets the clean 1-2-3 pin. Match over. Now, while this is happening, after this happens, actually, Jeff Hardy is celebrating. He gets attacked by Austin Aries, and Austin Aries, doesn't pick up the Jeff Hardy championship version of the World Championship, but he picks up the TNA version of the World Championship. And it was funny. He actually said something that literally made me LOL, laugh out loud. He basically said, with all those eyes you have on your face, I thought you had two eyes behind your head, which was spot on. Very good. But he basically states that he wants Jeff Hardy at Turning Point, at the pay-per-view. He's not going to fight for free. And that's when he wants his rematch against Jeff Hardy. After this is all over, I think the night's over. No. We go to the back and we find out whose picture that dart hit. And it was Kurt Angle. The aces and eights were, like they say in the streets, they were going in on him. They were beating the living crap out of him. They were taking him out. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think the big picture is with this aces and eights storyline? Please leave a comment below. I would like to know, again, I like to hear what your opinion is. I would like to know what your predictions are regarding the situations with the aces and eights. Where are they going to go with this? Do you think they're going to go anywhere with it? Do you think it's a good storyline? Do you think it's a bad storyline? Do you think they should end it, or do you think they should continue it? Ladies and gentlemen, this show is opinion-based only. I always say this. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, follow me on Twitter. Tweet me during the week. Tweet me during TNA. Tweet me during the pay-per-views. I will promote and I will plug your Twitter handle on my page, on my show. Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch me here every week at onewrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. And you can follow my friends, Lady B from the NYC, and of course the Godfather, Bill Apter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.